Hey guys, what's up? This is Bret, Life on This Planet blog, coming at you with my newest vinyl update and some things from my weekly playlist. So I got a lot to cover, so let's just go ahead and get started. The first four of these are some CDs that I listened to. A few of them were actually just from last night. It was the weather here in Phoenix has now, in the evening, started to get cool enough to shut off the air conditioning and open the door. And I was playing records, and then I was making some food and enjoying a cold one, and decided to switch to CDs because my hands were too dirty to keep changing records. And you know how it is when you drink a few cold ones, your hand gets a little shaky putting the needle down, and I didn't want to risk any damage. So me and a few people in the vinyl community last night were vibing on some Low Anthony, You Know It Was You, and a few other people. I think it was Bret, 2T Bret also, and may have been someone else, can't remember, but regardless. So I pulled this one out. This was Low's first album, I Could Live in Hope. Let me pull it out of the case here so you can see it. This was their first album, came out in 1994. My brother and I discovered them right when this came out, so this album's been with me for 18 years. Just killer. This first one came out on Vernon Yards, which I think was a subsidiary of Virgin, yeah. And the opening track, Words, is just phenomenal. You can see my copy, I have it. I got it signed. I saw them live in 1995 here at a club called Gibson's in Tempe, right over by Arizona State University, and they had opened for a band called Soul Coughing. And I remember when Low was playing. If you're familiar with the first couple of Low albums, they're super mellow, and everyone was kind of sitting on the floor as Low was playing. It was just completely mellow. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this big gulp cup of ice goes flying through the air, and hits the singer right in the side of the head. His wife, Mimi, plays drums and sings backing vocals, and she just stormed out from behind the drum kit, and just a stream of obscenities went at the wherever the intended party was through over the microphone. So that was really a bizarre experience. So I got to see them again in 2005 in Tucson when they toured with for the Great Destroyer album, and then was able to get the album signed. So yeah, this was just recently reissued on vinyl by a label called Plain Records, but I have the Long Division, their second album reissue, and I was really not pleased with it. So I'm gonna stick with my CD version of it because this sounds great. Highly recommended. If you don't have this, it seriously belongs in your collection. Great. Another one I pulled out last night. This was the last Bob Marley on the Wailers album. He died shortly after it. This is Uprising. Probably the most famous songs off of this are Could You Be Loved and the closing track, Redemption Song. Really great, really great. This really just hit the spot last night as I was listening to it. Rob Biolovox gave me a shout out last night. Appreciate that. If you don't know, Johnny Cash did a cover of Redemption Song with Joe Strummer for The Clash. It was just right before Joe Strummer died, and that's definitely a version to look up and check it out. It's really good. Yeah, Bob Marley and the Wailers, really nice. Another shout out from my friend James Todd here. He a really good friend of mine, and he does all the my band Audra, all the artwork design and stuff. And he turned me onto this band called Light Asylum. I know it's pretty hard to see, out on the Mexican Summer label, who released Best Coast as well. Really interesting. I describe this as a cross between like Nitzer Ebb with vocals by a cross between Grace Jones and Alison Moyet from Yaz. Really cool, really good stuff. The second half of the album especially, really excellent. All right, now another shout out for a VC member. This one goes out to John Staffsowell. We were talking about Paul Westerberg because the Replacements announced that they got together, Paul Westerberg and Tommy Stinson, to record an EP as a benefit for one of the old members who's really sick and has huge medical bills and stuff. Slim Dunlap, I think it was, yeah. And so we were going back and forth about Paul Westerberg albums, and then John had posted Suicane Gratification he was listening to, which I listened to as well, and I pulled this one out, and I think this one is just excellent. And this is Paul Westerberg Stereo. This came out in 2002 on Vagrant. And you can find this really inexpensively, and it actually comes with, this is called Stereo if I didn't mention that, but it actually comes with a second disc called Mono, and it's under Paul Westerberg's like alter ego called Grandpa Boy. As you can see, there's a cover for that in there. It's kind of crazy. But this album, Stereo, song after song, are just excellent, really catchy. The track Dirt to Mud is excellent, and Only Lie Worth Telling. Really, really good. Okay, and this is another one I was playing. I played this one last night, and if you're unfamiliar with this girl, really definitely look up on YouTube, look up a couple songs. This is Zola Jesus. I saw her back in February here in Phoenix. At a club called the Crescent Ballroom, and she was phenomenal live. Phenomenal. Kind of a trained opera singer, but with kind of dark music, dark electronic music, and it's just really, really sincere and really emotional. And she's just something else to watch. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect live, but she was running all over the place, and while she's doing that, she's singing these really insanely challenging vocal parts. So this was her first album. This came out on Sacred Bones, a great label. All their packages look like this, and I like the way they put an LP recorded in 2009. They really pay really good attention to packaging, and they all have the logo in this kind of old-fashioned style, and it has the track listing on there. And this is their first one called The Spoils. You can see the label on there. It's really cool. I picked this one up at her show. I had just had it digitally up before that, but this is really cool. It's really more lo-fi than her later stuff, and I'm pretty experimental, but deep down the songs are all really good. So this is her first one. If you're going to start off with Zola Jesus, her newest one that came out in 2011, which was one of my favorite albums of last year, is called Conatus. Not sure the exact pronunciation. That'd be a great place to start. There's a track on there, In Your Nature, that David Lynch actually did a remix of, which is on a limited edition 7-inch. And that one is excellent. And then there's two EPs, Stridulum and Volusia, which are both excellent. I think I may have showed those before, and those are great. And if you're familiar with the band M83, their newest album, Hurry Up We're Dreaming, the first track called Intro, there's female vocals on it, and that's her. Nika Rosa Danilova, I think is her name, but she goes by Zola Jesus. Alright, so let's get into some new finds. This first one here is a band called Blue in Heaven. This is a 12-inch single for a track called I Just Wanna. Still in the shrink wrap here. I picked this up really cheap. I never find their records, but this was a band that was actually U2 had a record label back in the 80s and early 90s called Mother Records, and this is one of the bands they signed. Their first album was actually produced by Martin Hannett, who most famously did Joy Division. He did an early U2 single, this is actually on Island. And Chris Blackwell produced it. If you know who Chris Blackwell is, he's actually the founder of Island Records. And this band is also from Ireland as well, if I didn't mention that. And I played this today, and it is excellent. Kind of post-punk, really good. Looks like Billy Idol on the back, but it's not. So if you can come across any records by Blue in Heaven, by all means. This is the only one I have some on the computer, but they're really hard to come by. So if you find anything by Blue in Heaven and don't want it, send me a message. But yeah, this was really cool. For the last couple weeks, I've been finding a lot of the earlier Simple Minds albums, and this is their first one. I found this one actually last Saturday. This is from 1982. This is their first one. Is it 82? I think it says 82 on here. I'm not sure if that was the release date or what, but Life in a Day. Yeah, look at that picture there. I think that's Jim Kerr right there, the singer. Comes in this cool Virgin mid-price sleeve here, which has their catalog on it. I'll zoom in on it so you can kind of get an idea of some of the things on here. Magazine, Cabaret Voltaire, PIL, Sex Pistols. What else is on here? Genesis, Captain Beefheart, Can, Devo, John Fox, etc., etc. So yeah, this is their first album. A lot different than the Don't You Forget About Me, but this was a cool find. I've been looking for a copy of this for a long time. That track Chelsea Girl is really good. Another one, the first Ultravox album. This is the Ultravox when John Fox was fronting the band. You can see him on the cover there, all on the back cover, all by himself, gatefold, and then there's the rest of the band. And this was also out on Island Records. Can't remember the year of this one. I don't remember if it was 78 or what, but I'll pull it out and show it to you here. Oh, produced by Brian Eno, Ultravox, and Steve Lillywhite, and actually it was from 1977. There you see it. Yeah, so the first Ultravox album. Really good. Listened to this one the other day. Really enjoyed it. All right, now if you guys remember my last vinyl update from last week, I was headed to a record store with my friend Jesse, and I was saying how cool it would be if I found a copy of Peter Murphy's Deep, which I did. The other thing that I said to him in the car, we were talking about U2 singles, and we were talking about the Rattle and Hum era U2, and I said how and we were both agreeing how we always see like Angel of Harlem and Desire and some of these, but I said, I never see the All I Want Is You single. Walked in, there it was. 12-inch, too. And what's even more cool about this one is the white label promo. There you go, All I Want Is You. B-sides were two covers, Unchained Melody, you guys know that one, and Everlasting Love, which is excellent. Yeah, so I was able to pick up a white, not only was it the 12-inch, but the white label promo of that one, and I've always loved the artwork to this, so I was really happy to find it on a 12-inch record. So that was a killer score, and it was only $3. Actually, all those records I just showed you, but were all $3. This record, I hadn't heard it in probably over 15 years. I had it on vinyl. I got it back in the early 90s, and I had it, and I was recently going through looking for it, and I just could not find it. And I looked all over the place, nowhere to be found. So I've been finding random copies, but they were like way overpriced. There's no reason. This album is like 11 minutes long. There's like 5 songs on it, and I found a copy for just a few dollars a couple weeks ago. And that's David Bowie and Bertolt Brecht's Ball. Bertolt Brecht was a German kind of poet, playwright, and this was his first play that he wrote was called Ball, and it came out in the maybe 1918. I can't remember exactly when it came out. But the BBC, I think it was, did a presentation of it, and David Bowie played the character, which is kind of a sleazy womanizer kind of guy. And there's 5 songs on this one, and it's excellent. I hadn't heard it in so long, so it was a real treat to be able to put this one on and hear it. And it's on the RCA label. But yeah, I was really pleased to get that. It's a kind of a little known little EP in David Bowie's catalog, and it's definitely worth seeking out if you don't have it or don't know about it. This came out in '82, and it was actually recorded at the Hansa Studios in Berlin, where he recorded like Low and Heroes, and Tony Visconti produced it. It's mostly Bowie and Visconti with some studio musicians on this. So yeah, really cool pickup. Another thing I got was Killing Joke's second album. This was only $3 as well. I never see this. I always end up finding the reissues of Killing Joke, which, you know, are kind of expensive, but cover's kind of beat up on this one, but played great. And this was their second album. This one came out in I think it was 80 or 81. Out on EG. But what was really cool about this sleeve is it has, let's see if you can see it there. It's cool. It's got little advertisements and records. You can see Brian Eno's Before and After Science on there. Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy, Discreet Music, a bunch of Brian Eno stuff, Killing Joke. And this one has the cool label, Malicious Damage. Yeah, this came out in 81. But really good, the Killing Joke, those first couple albums, just really tribal, really intense. I was really happy to find this one. But yeah, but Malicious Damage, it's on, I'm guessing, which is a subsidiary of EG Records. But yeah, that was a killer score as well. All right. Sorry guys, trying to speed this up here. I think I'm going to save this one for next time because I want to talk about this record here. This is InDreama. Hopefully you guys can see this. Over the last, about a month or so ago, maybe a little longer, I did a Friday on the Turntable feature on a guy named Derek Higgins. You guys in the vinyl community obviously know Derek. Some of you other guys that are subscribed to my blog and are just new to watching my channel perhaps don't know him, but Derek's been around a long time, working in various bands, and he was in Sun Ambulance, which is a band on Saddle Creek Records. But he reissued his second solo album earlier this year called Derek 2, and I just actually showed it last week. Really excellent, and he's a part of this band called InDreama, which is fronted by a guy named Nick, who's also in that band called Icky Blossoms. And InDreama just got signed to Team Love Records, which I think is owned by Connor Oberst from Bright Eyes. And there's people like Jenny Lewis on there, and Tilly in the Wall maybe on there. Anyway, so their debut album, I ordered it from Derek so I could get it. I think it comes out on the 22nd of October. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, and I'll put up a link so where you guys can order it. But I ordered it. This came on Wednesday, and the vinyl is actually released through jointly through Team Love and Derek's label, DVH Recordings, and this is DVH 2. So let me pull it out here and show you. The version that I got, which I believe is sold out. There might be still a copy or some copies left through Team Love. I think that's the only way to get the vinyl because I know it was extremely limited, the purple vinyl. So that's purple vinyl with that really killer label on there. But it is available in black vinyl as well through Derek. But you can also order the purple. You probably want to jump on that right away because those are not going to last. Comes with an insert with the lyrics and the credits on this one. So, when I got the record, I got home, put it on, listened to it, flipped it over, and played it again. I rarely do that with a lot of records. I usually listen to them once, put it away, revisit it. I was pretty intrigued by this one, and so I played it again. Now, I'm not a big fan of genres, so it's a really hard record to kind of pinpoint the sound to you guys. One of the main things that I can say that I really appreciate about it is the basic foundation of the album is acoustic guitar, and I'm a really big fan of that. That exists in a lot of my favorite artists like David Bowie. There's this underlying bedrock of acoustic guitar, and the album kind of starts off like that. Side 2 starts off with this track called Sad Reunion, which is one of my favorite tracks on the album. And really nice kind of delicate vocals. But the album, it kind of ebbs and flows, it changes. And it's at times very nice and peaceful, at very times chaotic. And it sounds, I haven't paid attention closely to the lyrics, but it has a Syd Barrett kind of element to it. And it almost has this quality of someone going through almost like a mental breakdown, and it's just all these facets of their personality and what's going through their head, and there's all these little spoken word little segues that connect the tracks, and it's just it's a real trip to listen to because it takes you all around. And probably one of my, if not my favorite track or my second favorite track, is Loop Popper, which is right before side one ends. And when I had it on, I was like, wow, what is this? And it's, you know, it's just got this almost like a dance beat and just this really excellent rhythmic vocal flow. And it just makes me wonder, there's got to have been some sort of a hip hop influence on Nick's, you know, in Nick's past, because it has that flow, just a really great rhythmic flow. And there's this part that we were talking about last night actually on Facebook, where the vocals, and it was, I think Derek called it the helium rap part, which I thought was just killer when that kicked in. And Derek even has a little part on there where he comes in with this deep low voice, and it's really cool. I can't wait to have a digital file of that one, so I can play that for people at when I'm at various party functions and stuff, because I think people really enjoy that track. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've actually listened to it 4 times now, and I'm really looking forward to getting really in it. I mean, take a look at this cover art too. How cool is that? Derek, the releases that he puts out are just really excellent. A really great attention to details on this one. When you order it from him, they come in these really nice Blake sleeves. The inner sleeve are poly lined, and everything about it, all 180 gram vinyl. And if you ask him to sign it, he signs it, and he ships them right away. It's got a killer spine on it, so it looks good on your shelf. And it always has a nice attention to detail. And Derek does a lot of stuff on this record as well. He plays bass, synthesizers, does a lot of various other things on it, and vocal stuff. And it's just excellent. I'm really happy to have this in my collection. So like I said, you can order the vinyl, and it's already shipping right now. And the purple one, very limited run. So grab that if you can. I'll post a link. Congratulations, Derek. I know a lot of you guys in the vinyl community have already picked this up, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with InDreama and the word getting spread, and seeing you guys take off. So I just wanted to close with that one. So everyone, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'll talk to you guys later. Keep it real.